Well, good day, C-Dub.
Hello, everybody.
How you doing?
I'm great. How are
Excellent.
things in the North Long Beach?
Good.
Welcome,
Yes.
everybody, to Rock and Roll Confessional.
This interview is with Collective Soul's Will Turpin. Will is one of the busiest musicians on the planet. He's promoting the latest Collective Soul album, Vibrating, his current solo album, Serengeti Drivers, his recording studio, Reel to Reel, and even teasing the next Collective Soul album, which is almost finished.
The band has many exciting things happening in 2024 as they celebrate their 30th anniversary, which is very hard to believe, but it's true, including at least one new album, if not two, and a documentary that will be released later in the year. Will talks about the 30th anniversary of the band, plus playing Woodstock 94 and 99, and so much more.
So here we go with our interview with Will Turpin of Collective Soul.
You guys got it? Y'all hear me?
I think we hear you. Hello,
yeah.
Will.
How you doing, CW?
Good.
Hey, Rita.
Long time no see.
You've never been called lovely, Rita, have you?
No, I haven't. I never get tired of it either, though.
Yeah, that's great.
Last time I saw you was probably, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago, something like that, at the Mark and Brian radio program at KLOS in Los Angeles. You guys would come in and play, and then played at a Christmas show of ours, I think, also.
I remember.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
Maybe I should put this computer to sleep. It's kind of bleaching out the background.
Well, you know what? We don't use a lot of the video part.
Oh, y'all don't?
No. So let's just look pretty, even though you do have nice hair today. But
It's still sticking around for 50 years old.
Not bad.
yeah, no shit. And the band's what? You just guys hit 30 years?
Yeah, officially, we would have signed with Atlantic Records in 1990, early 94, but Collective Soul was a band in 93. That's true.
When I heard you were coming on, I turned to Rita and I said, I cannot believe this band is 30 years old. I'm like, I feel like you guys, came out like 10 years ago. This is crazy how life is going.
These, it's like you hear it a lot, but yeah, it's like these last years. It seems like we were on our 25-year anniversary tour yesterday, and now it's, technically we'll celebrate 30 years next year because that was the year. 94 was the year the first record came out, and that was the summer that Shine was all, you couldn't go anywhere without hearing Shine on the radio or MTV in 94. So
that's so true. So true. And that was like right out of the gate, you guys hit it off with that. I guess you were in a smaller label before, but then with Atlantic behind it. But no, I guess you did get a lot of airplay with it just locally, like in Georgia, didn't you?
Yeah, it kind of, you have to give credit actually to Album 88. It was a college radio station in Atlanta, and we were on an independent record label. A guy named Sandy Fine was program director at the college radio station. Dean actually took, because me and Dean were both students at Georgia State University, downtown Atlanta. Dean actually took the record there, and Sandy Fine chose Shine. And then after that, Shine kind of took on a little bit of life of its own. And then a commercial radio station in Orlando picked it up even before we were signed to Atlantic Records. And that was kind of the caveat that really it's like it wasn't necessarily the butterfly landing on the boulder. It was a big deal to have a commercial station pick up an independent record, especially in those days.
Wasn't it WJRR something, Orlando?
That's right. And it was Steve Robertson who took that leap of faith on his Sunday evening show where he was able to play some stuff out of the playlist. But that's kind of where that's where it started. You
guys are still all located in Georgia?
No, me and Ed are the only ones still here. But the original five, we all, this is where we grew up. It would have been in a small town barely south of Atlanta, Stockbridge, Georgia. And that's where the Rowland Brothers' father's church was. And that's where the recording studio that my father carved out of a basement in a home, that's where it was. And, there's literally no more than half a mile radius of where we lived, where the church was, and where the studio was. It was a version of small town America, 20 miles south of a big town.
Why did your dad build the recording studio? I mean, does he have musical talent? Does it run through the family?
Yeah, he it was definitely a ways to the means or whatever. He was in some really good bands, and my dad was the type that even in that era it was okay, I'm going to figure out a way to have my own recording studio. And he would, before YouTube, he would get the books and he would read it. And I mean, growing up, our dining room table was never a dining room table. It was always a drafting board or records, or he was always doing it. He like I said, if he didn't know how to do it, he'd get the book, or he'd find a friend that also knew how to do it. And they made a real echo chamber. They modeled it, after some really classic echo chambers that they knew of. And it was a really cool studio, little niche studio, boutique. It wasn't big, but a lot of cool stuff happened down there. And that's where we came out of. That would have been Collective Souls Hub. That's where we met. And Ed would have been, there was an era where Ed was head engineer at that studio for 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, that's great. Well, it's wonderful to work in the studio if you're a musician, right? To completely get immersed in everything. Now, you're more of a producer these days. I mean, you still play with Collective Soul, the band and stuff like that, and your own solo stuff. But are you more into producing? Is that where your heart is right now?
Yeah, so Reel to Reel Studios, my dad opened it in 76, and it moved to the location it's at now, which is where I'm at today. In 2001, I think it was online and ready late 2001. But this build here would have been my dad's lifetime build for this studio. And that I have ownership of the studio now, and I'm enjoying working with some other bands. So I'm producing and working with other bands, working on my own stuff, and staying super, super busy with Collective Soul as well. So that's where I'm at right now. My kids are older. And I've always produced a little bit on the side when I could find time, but things change. And now that my kids are all older and I've got a lot of time, and I'm taking a lot of pride in the ownership of the studio, so I'm here a lot and producing a lot of stuff.
Is that where the band records?
We have recorded there here before. We did a version of Shine about 1.5 years ago here, but yeah, I mean that's where we came out of on the half of the first record was done here in the original one.
Do you give them a discount?
Yeah, it's called free.
Oh, okay.
That's great stuff. Now, what are you actively promoting right now? Because I guess the last thing that we heard from Collective Soul was the album Vibrating. Mm-hmm. And that's some really great stuff on there. I mean, song structure on the Collective Soul record, and also want to talk about your latest solo CD, Serengeti Driver. Structuring of the song, the lyrics, the music, it's everything in there. I mean, it's really pop perfect.
Thanks. I mean, it's something that's still like, it makes our heart pump. It makes our blood flow. And it's something that, I mean, I know a lot of friends and bands that they just don't care about making records anymore. We just left Hootie Fest, and it was all friends from the 90s, basically, that are still actively great bands live, but they're not we're still into creating new music like it was 1994 to us. So thanks for the kind words. And yeah, it's kind of the same thing we always used to do. It's kind of creating by feel, and you go with that emotion and that feel. And we were schooled in the studio. I think you can tell that from the earlier records. You could tell, oh, these kids just didn't pop in the studio and play rock music. They've got a little bit of studio acumen built up. But we love getting in the studio and creating. There's nothing better. So yeah, Vibrating was the last one. We've got a couple records in the can now. We just finished one in Palm Springs at Elvis's house.
Now you got to tell us about this. Yeah. This is like, because Elvis had Graceland, but he had a place in Palm Springs, right?
Yeah, it's well documented. He loved Palm Springs, and yeah, him and Lisa Marie were still married when they moved there. So, friend of a friend had ownership of Elvis's house, and he had it where he could throw some events and stuff, but he had not renovated it all, left everything like it was, and to be honest, a large percentage of the house was not even functioning and kind of in shambles a little bit. Those pieces of the roof coming down, but we set up in that main room. All our studio gear, we just bring it in on wheels and set up a great vibe, brought in some furniture and some area rugs, and moved all the big snakes all the way over into it would have been Lisa Marie's bedroom, not Priscilla. Him and Priscilla would have still been married, but Lisa Marie's bedroom is where our engineering room was. And we set up and recorded there. We stayed there a whole month. It took us about 3 years to get that idea to fruition, because we met them. And of course, our first idea was, well, we got to live there and record there. That's how we think. But it took us about 3 years. And then last January, we lived there and immersed ourselves in the community. What a cool community. Everywhere we went, everybody's like, oh, there's Collective Soul. They're here for the month. It's one of those towns. It's like a smaller town. So, and when we walk around together, we kind of make a scene, so between the clothing stores, we immersed ourselves in the bars, the restaurants, the clothing stores, the gift shops. Everybody knew who we were. And we had a blast, and we created another great record, I think. So that'll be out next year.
Okay.
And that kind of comes along with the quintessential Collective Soul documentary that'll be out early next year as well. So
Tell us about that.
Yeah.
It's in full production. It's going to be one of those things where people kind of know the story, and even the hardcore Collective Soul fans that know the story, I think they'll be surprised with a lot of the details and how things came to be, and some of the footage. It's going to be good to see all of it. It was about 12 terabytes of stuff we compiled after about 28 years. You don't start your career in rock and roll going, well, we better document and organize everything we do. So it's been a lot. It's been a little bit of an undertaking, but we're working with a great production company out of California, and we're super excited to get it out next year. So all that's coming out next year.
Where are you trying to release the documentary? Is that like a theatrical?
Maybe. I think it could lend itself to Broadway, no problem. The music.
You have to play every night.
No, I think they can get the Broadway players to handle that. We get to go to opening night and see it, and that's then we hand it off. Yeah, so it's going to be one of those streaming services. We're talking to a number of them.
Yeah,
it seems like you guys. I don't know. I don't remember hearing any like horror stories that you guys went through when you were starting off or anything. And I'm kind of wondering what it's like, at the beginning of the career, dealing with the record companies. You guys were, I think it was Atlantic Records you were on originally. That's who signed you. Compared to now, I mean, was it all smooth sailing the whole way, or did you guys have rough times at the beginning?
Well, the beginning was snowball rolling downhill, and Atlantic jumped on and they rolled down the hill with us. That first Atlantic Records record was exactly as we had produced it before they got it. And like I said, it got added by the commercial station, and we had sold copies. So they're like, in that era, we actually thought once we got signed to Atlantic, we would get to re-record some of those songs and then release what we thought would be a stronger record, because it was kind of the story with that first record is some of those songs were kind of intended for a songwriter demo. Some of those were band songs. But Atlantic's like, no, this thing's moving. We're gonna put the stamp on it, and y'all are gonna go work it, and we're gonna be successful with this record. Which is why the second record is called self-titled and called Collective Soul.
Right.
So we went right back in the studio, and we wanted to show people what we could do with a brand new outlook and a record budget from Atlantic Records. So that's that. Of course, we've always had ups and downs. There's been rough patches. As with every rock band, I'll refer to the documentary that comes out early next year.
Okay.
Wow. So
don't want to spill any beans.
They're out there. There's a lot of stories out there, but it's always there's always more to it, But we've been super successful and super grateful for everything that happened to us. And Ed says it every night on stage. There's a part of the show where this is our time to give thanks, and we make sure that everybody knows we're thankful for what we get to do for a living, and we're thankful for them allowing our music to become, the soundtrack to their lives.
You guys had just like a string of hits. December, I think Heavy, we played that.
Yeah.
From Heavy Dosage. The World I Know. Some great songs. And what I was talking about earlier is that the songwriting in them is just really well. And then also, like I mentioned on Serengeti Driver, your solo record, your last solo record that you put out, just some really wonderfully written songs and delivered so greatly on record. And I love some of the layers. It just is a beautiful record. So,
oh, thanks, Rita. Thank you. We are songwriters. We consider ourselves songwriters, and even when we were young, because of that studio acumen that my father was a big part of with Ed and with me and with all the guys in Collective Soul, our idea of what we were supposed to do was to serve the songs and to support the song. And we've always had that idea, and I feel like we're pretty good at it.
What do you play on your solo albums? Do you play all the instruments? Because I know you play more than just bass.
Yeah, I start most of those songs on piano. I think the one song you're referring to, On and On, has that really cool play with the acoustic guitar and the mandolin. I would have started that one on acoustic guitar, but most of them, piano is my first instrument. So most of the songs I sit down and it comes out of me when I'm behind the piano. Even I tell people this just so they get an idea of what a musician's brain's like or whatever. Even when I'm playing bass, I think of a piano keyboard. That's where I started. And that's where music theory is embedded in me. So if I'm playing bass, in my mind, I'm looking at a keyboard really, because that's where I started, and that's where the core of everything is for me.
Did you get your degree in music?
No, I was in my 5th year at Georgia State School of Music, and Atlantic Records came calling.
But you should have an honorary doctorate or something like that.
Yeah, we've discussed it, and I should probably go forward with that. Yeah.
Yeah, but you're doing great. I mean, just what you give back so much, you're already doing that. I imagine you help a lot of artists too that don't really have studio time, that if you hear something, you want them to discover that themselves, and you probably help them with that journey.
I do, and I enjoy it, and I never regret it. A lot of these artists, Mary Martin comes to mind. I've been working with her. She's got 2 singles out now. But she had never recorded in the studio, and me and my partner Brian Collins, partner in the production company, we would listen to her at our local brewery, and we kept going. We were friends with her, but we kept going. I think she can sound really good, and she had never been in a recording studio, and we got her in here, and it's a pleasure to see somebody that can get in here and really really blossom. So that was fun to see. As far as California goes, right now I'm working today on a band from they're kind of out of Northern California, Silicon Valley area, but they're in LA right now, or LA area. But Odd Army, I'm finishing up their record, and I think late summer you'll see that entire record out also.
Oh, very cool.
Will, I saw a couple months ago the documentary about Woodstock 99, and I never realized the chaos that happened there. You guys played 99, correct? And I'm just wondering if you experienced some of the craziness that went on there that so many other bands did.
Yeah, I think our perspective, I wish somebody would have contacted us or thought about it, because our perspective would have been really cool, because we were at 94.
That's right.
On Friday night, and it was the night before the mud, but it was us, Sheryl Crow. Sheryl Crow was at 94 and 99 as well. But Friday night was us. A lot of bands that were new: Sheryl Crow, Blues Traveler, Live, Candlebox, King's X played. They weren't new. They blew my mind because I'm a huge fan. But that Friday night at Woodstock 94 it couldn't have been more magical. Couldn't have been more beautiful. And it was a peace-loving, fun, amazing festival. Even when the mud was around and Billy Joe from Green Day tells them to bring it on, it was still a fun-loving, awesome festival, and it felt that way. It's tangible.
Yeah.
With 99, we got on the ground in 99, and I'm telling you, backstage, even just backstage where we were, it was tangible. Something else was tangible, and it was that this is not as cool as 94. It was tangible from the moment we got there. And then I would hear rumblings from maybe some people that were working out front and coming back or whatever. And maybe I talked to a few friends that might have been out front or whatever, but we heard it that day. Oh, they're charging us $4 for water and da-da-da and da-da-da. And I saw how they were on top of a cement tarmac. And I was like, ooh, it's sitting like 94. But we played our show. That set has been re-released on HD, and you can see the whole set. And we were there before a lot of the big chaos broke out. But we got out. We got out that day thinking, let's get out of here. It was tangible. Yeah. It was tangible that something negative was in the air.
That's crazy.
I was at the 94 one doing some radio network stuff. And that Friday night was great. I'm trying to remember, was it Aerosmith or Red Hot Chili Peppers that played? I think, on that Friday night. Closed
I
it
don't
out.
know. It was all younger bands. Matter of fact, the last band on the main stage on Friday night would have been Violent Femmes. They probably went on about midnight. It was all new bands, newer bands, and accordingly according to the guys who recorded the record, the loudest the crowd was Friday night when they were singing "Shine." Yeah.
Wow.
Because everybody knew that song. It was played FM, it was played AM, it was played pop, it was played rock. You guys covered everything.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Maybe not classical, but.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And we are now. We got that covered now. But
okay, good. We'll see you at the symphony.
Yeah. He'll be directing it or playing all the instruments. Yeah. Definitely. I know your time is limited, so we wanted to ask you a couple of really quick questions, if we could.
It's called the bonus round.
The bonus round. Ding, 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 ding.
Okay. Go ahead, Reitz, you start.
What's the first concert you went to?
The first real concert would have been U2 Joshua Tree in 10th grade.
My God. So in Atlanta?
In Atlanta at the Omni is what it was called then. And it blew my mind. The moment I walked in there, the lights were on, in the older days, the lights would just be on and you'd see people moving on the stage and stuff. And then before the show started, lights would drop and da-da-da. But the lights were on and I walked in that arena and I was like, oh, wow, this is so cool.
Yeah. No, in fact, listening to some of your music, it reminded me the last couple of albums of theirs, Songs of Surrender. No, that's the new one, but Songs of Innocence. Songs and Songs of Experience. Yep. Because it's, those songs were so layered beautifully. And much of the record that I heard from Collective Soul, the last one, and then also Serengeti Driver, your album, had that same sort of appeal, just beautiful. And I wanted to pay you a U2 compliment, and I think that you get that.
It's probably the band's favorite. If we had to include, all the members, if we had to say one band, U2 would probably be it. Although, we've all got some specific influences that we feel like are stronger, but U2 would probably be our favorite as a band.
Who would you want to play with that you've never played with?
Share the stage with, or like play some songs?
Studio, stage, whatever. It's your game as much as ours. So
Paul McCartney's still around kicking it. So Paul McCartney.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that should be done. What would you say to your 19-year-old self or 18-year-old self when you were in school and probably didn't know exactly what you wanted to do, but maybe a little bit?
I don't know. I was always in music and I was always head down in music. And at 19, I would have been a performance major at college. And I would have been a percussionist playing timpani and stuff in Florida State Symphony. I would have just told myself to enjoy the ride, stay true to who you are, and enjoy the ride.
Did you have aspirations to be like a rock star?
Not necessarily, but my best friends and I watched Ed hone his craft at my father's studio, and we were the best of friends. We had a chemistry that was together. But my perspective growing up with my father trying to do it all those years, I was probably leaning more towards getting a degree and having something more stable. But there was always this magnetism and this draw to who were my best friends in Atlanta. And that's basically why I came back from Florida State University to Georgia State, start hanging with them again. And there was a girl involved too, who I'm still married to. And
that's Donna, right?
Yeah.
Donna. Excellent. How's she doing?
She's doing great.
Excellent. Good to hear that.
What band do you regret never seeing live?
There's a few that I didn't get a chance to see that are not around doing it. Probably Tom Petty. Another one that's like overall, like one of our, as a band and as individuals, all of us revere everything that he's ever done. And I never got a chance to see him live. Wish I would have.
Were there others that you wanted to throw in?
Well, as far as culture goes, and just I'm and a lot of true musician or professional musicians aren't necessarily Deadhead fans or Grateful Dead fans, but what they meant to society and the whole vibe, and I like a lot of their songs. I wish I could have seen that firsthand, what that was, what that
Yeah.
experience was. So I kind of wish I could have seen that as well, and I never did get a chance to. I had chances. I would just.
They'll always be here, which was my exact reason for never seeing them. And I think I talked to Reed about this last time, is that, I wanted to go. It was kind of like Jimmy Buffett. I want to go experience not only the concert, but everything leading up to the concert.
Yeah, they were changers. They were movers, shakers, and changers. I wish I could have seen that vibe and seen what that was like. But
It was so fun just watching the crowd. I didn't see them probably till like the 80s. But still the same vibe. Beautiful stuff.
I've grown to like them a lot more in the last 10 years. So,
who are your strongest musical influences? Because I imagine that it's got to be a very eclectic kind of group.
All of our tastes are super eclectic, but I mean, the main stuff is really 70s. I was head down with the Beatles for a long time when I was younger too, but I'll take, if I had to, I'd take the Wings records and the Lennon and Harrison solo records. If I had to pick a decade, I'd still pick the 70s over the 60s. Tom Petty, Queen, Pink Floyd, Elton John, of course, those are the things that really, really get me going. And then the 80s, growing up in the 80s, there was U2, there was NXS, there was things that were considered alternative in that era.
Right.
But to me, I tell everybody it was like alternative to the bad music, that some of the bad music that was so popular. Or basic music, I should call some of that hair band stuff was just very basic to me. But the 80s were a big influence with, like I said, a lot of those same bands are still making records in the 80s. Even the Rolling Stones would have been a big influence, but U2, NXS, The Outfield, all those records, we really loved all those records in the 80s as well. So those were kind of my main influences growing up.
Any country influences?
Yeah, country would have been like, my father would have influenced me with like some Pure Prairie League, the Eagles, because of my father, Willie Nelson. Yeah, man, there's a lot of good stuff there too.
Yeah.
Who was the first rock star you met besides your band? Can't include Ed or Dean.
No, that doesn't count. We're still not rock stars. We're just professional musicians.
Like you're at Atlantic Records, you're signing the deal, and so-and-so walks by.
Yeah, I'll go back to King's X for me, because it was Woodstock 94, and they were playing the same night we were. We were on the same record label, and it was the Artist Compound that was back there. And I saw our Atlantic rep walking with King's X. And they were in front of us probably about 80 yards walking towards the media tent. And I think if I would have had a camera footage, I'd look back now, it'd probably look like I was running. But I picked up my pace and I caught up with them. And I was the hugest fan. They were like an amazing rock, 3-piece rock band that had Beatles harmonies and just a style that was unparalleled. And now I was the hugest fan, and I still am. They're out still playing and doing records. But I remember being total fanned out, meeting Doug Pennick and Ty Tabor and Jerry from King's X. Like I said, cool. It was definitely more than a light jog. I was trying to catch up to them just so I can meet them. Did
you get an autograph?
I didn't get an autograph. And I didn't, in that era, I wish I would have carried around cameras and done more stuff like that.
Or wish that cell phones, iPhones had been around at that time,
Yeah, I mean, because you didn't just have a high-def camera in your pocket everywhere you went back then,
The disposable Instamatic from Kodak.
Yeah.
Those would have worked. I didn't carry around those.
Right.
So what's next? Any touring this summer?
Yeah, we've got a number of shows. We're hitting a lot of power weekends, like 3 shows on the weekend. Getting out there pretty busy, about 80 shows, but that's going to be the storm or the calm before the storm. Next year we're going to be all over. We're going to have some big tour announcements and, like I said, documentary, new record. So
at least 1 new record, maybe 2.
There might be 2 next year. I'll go ahead.
Or a double album,
or at least another like EP to follow up at the end of the year. Who knows?
Yeah.
There's a quintessential box set that's got to come out soon too. We're planning on that as well. So
Yeah.
Wow.
A lot of great things to look forward to. Well, I know you're busy. Just want to say thank you for all that great music that you've written and produced and sung, and so enjoyed Serengeti Driver, and look forward to your next solo record and also the next Collective Soul record.
Well, thank you all very much. Appreciate your time as well. We'll see you next time, I guess.
All right. Sounds
Thank
great.
you, Will.
Yeah.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
Thanks for the
Bye-bye.
kind words.
Thank you. Thanks for that Southern draw. I missed that.
It's still there.
Yeah, it is. What an interesting guy. Lovely guy, too. Really enjoyed him.
You like his accent.
I like this accent, you little Southern boy. Yeah.
Yeah, that was so much fun with him.
Yes, indeed.
And I can't wait to hear even more. The new album is really, really good. Vibrating, which is the current new album. But like he said, they've got at least, I think, 2 more albums. One that was recorded at Elvis's house, which I did put a picture of Elvis's house on the website. So you can go check that out, And even the documentary sounds really interesting. So looking forward to the big celebration.
Indeed.
So thanks to our special guest, Will Turpin, and also thank you to Amanda Kagan for coordinating the interview. She did a fantastic job, and
Thank you, Amanda.
We were working with her for many, many months trying to get this interview down, and finally we got it done.
The latest Collective Soul album, Vibrating, can be found on most streaming platforms. Plus, you can order the CD or vinyl version on the band's website, collectivesoul.com.
Will's solo album, Serengeti Drivers, can be found at most streaming services. And follow Will on social media, Facebook, Will Turpin, Turpin Music. Instagram is Will Turpin. Read, can they follow Collective Soul? Wow, what a setup.
Read or Reeds?
Reads.
Read, that always got me in school. Read. And it was like, what I do?
Reads, can they follow Collective Soul anywhere?
They certainly can on Facebook and Instagram at collectivesoul.com. Collective Soul is touring now through February 2024. Find tickets and information on their website, collectivesoul.com.
And please check out our show notes. We do them for every single show. It's on our website, which is rock and roll confessional.rocks. And now you can find links to some of the subjects that were talked about in today's show, including more social media links to Will and his studio and Collective Soul, plus new music videos from the band, music videos from Will, and some classic stuff, links to get tickets, and even more, like Elvis's
so
house.
Much more? There's more?
There's more.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
There's more.
Hard
I can't
to believe.
believe.
It's like 100,000 things.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So keep you busy for the rest of the month. Please support the podcast by subscribing wherever you can, writing a review, follow and comment on Instagram and Facebook, and sharing our posts with your friends.
Thank you, everybody, as always, for listening, especially listening this far to the very, very end.
That's the show.
That's the show, folks. That's all, folks. Keep rocking. See you soon. Talk to you soon. Okay, bye.
We already ended the show. It's over. Go on. Go on to the next.
Go home, everybody.
We got to turn out the lights now.